Quest Audiobooks presents an unabridged recording of The Gathering by Vanessa Nelson. Narrated by Deborah Balm. Chapter 1. A sorceress and two wolfkin walked into a tavern. It sounded like the start of a bad joke, but Yvonne couldn't think of a good punchline. Nor did she think anyone would believe that she was a sorceress. Sorceresses rode on prancing white steeds, clothed in gem-encrusted robes, and were so extraordinarily beautiful that ordinary mortals were bewitched at first glance. At least that was what the stories told. There were no stories that she knew of where the sorceress rode an old warhorse long past his prime, or where the sorceress wore threadbare clothes and boots that were leaking again. She had always thought that gem-encrusted robes would be both impractical and uncomfortable, but right now she would very much like to have some gems, particularly when the next step reminded her that her boots were soaked through from walking beside her horse for part of the morning, heavy woolen socks saturated, cold, damp between her toes. She could not remember the last time her feet had been dry. It seemed to have been raining for the entire journey. It had been a panicked rush to leave their last home, and then 20 days of hard travel, moving as fast as they could, fear dulling to exhaustion on the way. And now they were nearly at journey's end. The tavern's door was open in front of her, the tantalizing smell of food drifting out, curling through her senses, and reminding her stomach that it had been a long time since she had eaten well. Still, she could not move forward, her damp feet fixed to the ground. Another unfamiliar place. More strangers. More questions. Good reasons to stay still, she thought, even if they weren't the real reason. Calla, kinswoman, in an ancient language that few people spoke anymore. It snagged her attention away from her thoughts. For a moment, she wasn't sure which of the children had spoken. A bad sign. She had not realized she was so tired. Some of it was hunger, and she hated having wet feet. She blinked, shook her head slightly, forced a smile to her face, and found the pair of them standing shoulder to shoulder nearby, waiting for her. Joel, tall and broad, with a shock of fair hair and bright blue eyes, watchful and a little wary.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?